So interesting.
That's a little biased.
Yeah, it is an interesting.
I don't think it's biased. It's based on data.
It's the perfect real estate agent.
It is the perfect real estate agent.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Welcome to the iBuyer experiment. Today we're going to talk about ChatGPT and how you, as a real estate professional, could be violating the Code of Ethics and Fair Housing by using ChatGPT. Woo!
And I'll say what?
What?
They're always saying not to do something.
Like, is this a fearmonger?
So, word on the street, leadership in real estate across many companies and many organizations are saying that ChatGPT has hidden biases built into it that could impact fair housing. They could be a violation of your Code of Ethics. And so by using ChatGPT, you could be unnowingly portraying that information out there.
So
like in your communications or something, or what? Like, this is weird.
It is
so a robot
weird.
has bias over the skin color or sex or creed.
Hey, I am just merely sharing
the
what
screen color of the computer.
Yeah, I know.
What
You
I
don't
have learned.
you don't have your blue tone on, your true tone.
Well, let's say that
Blue
is
light.
the case. Well, then proofread it and change it to what you feel is according. Because if not, then they're probably going to write something that they didn't know they were going to get in trouble for anyway.
Like you write a description of a home and it says something like biased.
And you need to do your
Yeah, you need to read what it says,
Totally.
right? I mean,
Totally.
if it says something totally inappropriate, you're like, just copy and paste it and leave it and just like, without reading it.
I mean, I think the temptation is there to just copy and paste, though. You take a quick glance at it, you're like,
good.
wow, that was awesome. 2 seconds later, you copy,
good.
paste, and then, maybe you sit back and think about it, and you're like, okay, that could have been an issue. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you use it by, using it, and then you go back and look at it and go, okay, is this right? And change a few things here and there. And make sure it's...
What if chat's doing it on purpose to try to like out certain things, and it's like laughing in the background? Whoa!
It's becoming sentient.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's the big fear with all of this. I mean, I know Elon Musk is a big proponent of, hey, we need to like pause. And he makes some really compelling arguments. He talks about how anything that has the impact that something such as ChatGPT does should have some regulation.
Yep.
There should be somebody regulating this and protecting the public from it.
I wouldn't doubt it. Elon Musk all his tweets right now are ChatGPT. He's just like
no way
doing it in the back, or having ChatGPT do it in the background for a while.
I wonder
His
if
Truth AI bot.
So
I wonder if you could go into chat and ask it to give you responses as if you are Elon Musk.
Ooh, that'd be actually in an Elon Musk tone.
That got a laugh out of Keith. He's like, I like that one.
That would be fun.
I heard Elon Musk has a new CEO for Twitter. He's stepping down.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, 6 weeks. That just came out today.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, my Tesla stock
Replacement.
popped today.
Oh, so the market
Went up?
liked it.
Yeah, went up. Yeah, that's good.
Your
nice.
Tesla stock.
Our Tesla stock.
We're married here.
Yes,
like,
I know.
What's mine is
ours.
yours. What's mine is mine.
Yep.
yeah. So, hey, for one, I love ChatGPT. I'm using it a lot. It's saving a lot of time. I know that a lot of real estate professionals are. I'm still so surprised though by how many people haven't heard of it.
I guess I've been sleeping on a rock, or they took a trip to the 14-month trip to the moon and back, or something. I don't know.
I think.
I mean, have you
there's a
seen
lot
it
of
on
stuff
in the mainstream media though? Like if you watch like NBC or something like that, are they talking about ChatGPT?
Yes.
I don't know.
They are.
Yes.
Okay.
I've
I don't
seen it.
really
I've seen
I
it.
don't watch mainstream.
I don't really watch it, so I don't.
I'm not a
maybe,
huge mainstream news guy, but without a doubt, as I've flipped through some things, I've absolutely heard them talk about it.
And on social media,
Well,
I mean, people talk about it on social media all the time. So it's got to be. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why people don't. They haven't heard about it. So it's weird.
Well, and the thing that I love about ChatGPT is it goes so much deeper than just, a lot of the marketing or, asking questions, almost kind of like replacing Google from like a search standpoint, whatever else. My biggest thing is the power of the AI is still limited by the the ability to input the right prompts.
Right.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things.
Right.
Yeah, you got to be smart, right?
Noah is a master at it. And so I've kind of picked up a few tips from Noah. And one of the things that I picked up is whenever you're talking to ChatGPT, you want to like tell it like who you are and like what your objective is, and then ask it, do you understand? And when you ask it and prompt it, if it understands, then it'll keep that in its repository and it will use that information to give you responses down the line. So I know ChatGPT 4 only does 25 responses before you have to start a new thread. Yeah, it's fascinating. So you can go in, you can like, for instance, in marketing, you're in real estate and your avatar for this property is, you know, this, right? And so you can train it to be that avatar and then give it those property details and then ask it to write you a description based on that avatar.
That's
now
really
that
cool.
could be a fair housing thing, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I've heard, I've not done this, but I've heard agents using this to target a millennial buyer or a Gen Z buyer or a boomer. And those are, that's age.
What's the kind of verbiage?
It's age.
That's age, right?
That's age.
Wouldn't
I mean,
that
it's
be
age
protected?
range, right? Is age range protected?
I don't know.
Yeah, age range. What
Or
generation
that's
are you?
is
Generational
generation protected?
I think we need to add that.
Well, hey,
man.
that would mean that
I identify as a millennial,
Yeah,
but I'm a boomer.
Yes.
There you
I
go.
identify as a Gen Zer. Don't hold it against me. So NAR just
Yeah.
came out with some pretty crazy news.
Which,
What happened to NAR?
so, well.
Come on, Jay. It was like
Yeah,
your
you were
head.
just
It was like, that
talking
was your
about
headline
this.
drop.
So NAR has said that they could be raising dues.
No, they did. They
keep up with
they
inflation.
voted. They voted today, and
Oh.
and it passed.
Okay, so you do know.
And they said it passed because of inflation. You know, that's the reasons.
Right.
Keep up with inflation.
Do we think that it passed
Nope.
because they have a heavy attorney bill?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they're definitely trying to
They're
load up the
lowering it.
coffers so the lawyers can. I think the lawyers probably mentioned that to them. It's like, hey, you guys better raise your prices for inflation.
I mean, how
Yep,
great is that? You
likely.
have 1.5 million members and you say, we're going to raise it to $20, $30. Like,
Yeah, that's like $30 million.
$30
We
million.
just made $30 million.
Do
Yeah.
you know what the raise was? Was it $20-$30?
Let's see here. I can tell you here in a second.
I was like,
So those of you,
figured it might
while
be
Jay's
more.
looking that up, those of you that don't know, you've certainly heard us talk about on the past podcast, there is a couple of looming class action lawsuits out there right now around buyer broker compensation and, you know, all of those rumblings that are going on that why, I won't be bashful about it, why we think that these raising the costs are our fees, because they are arming the war chest to be able to take this on additionally with attorneys.
So it raised by $6.
Oh, $6, not quite as
But there are
much.
Okay.
1.5 million members. It went up 4% to $156 instead of $150, plus a special assessment for its consumer ad campaign, which was raised to $45 last year.
how do we feel about the consumer ad campaign? The hire a realtor?
It's a hire a realtor.
I mean,
I feel like
I'm-
it's lost its prestige.
I don't really
I
think,
love
think
the commercials, though.
consumers care.
They make me happy. They make me
Appeal to your
cry.
emotion.
They do.
Yeah.
They get me
They
every
do,
time. I love them.
They're definitely a cool commercial.
I remember when they did that ad set with the Modern Family guy and the
Oh, yeah.
spoof. That was really funny. Like, I loved that one. But yeah. So
I'm a
yeah,
realtor.
so
It's
hey
a
guys,
realtor.
we're gonna have to pay a little bit more to have our code of ethics and our realtor designation. Is it worth it?
Skip out
What-
on your vente latte one
Yeah,
time a
one
year.
time
Once
a
a
year.
year.
Not a big deal. Damn it. Well, but I mean, let's look at it logistically. I mean, this is the strength in numbers, right? $6 times 1.5, that's $9 million, right? Give or take. And $9 million, that's a whole lot of attorney war power there, war chest power.
We're making a
Not
broad,
really for
we're
their-
making a broad assumption.
You're like, they're suing for billions.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, keep in mind though, NAR's membership has never been this great, right? I mean, we peaked at, I think, just at 1.6
Yeah.
back late last year, or maybe it was the beginning of this year. I don't know. We peaked about there. And but even at where we stand today, at a little over 1.5, we've never had this many realtors, right? Like this is like a record.
So they're making bank right now.
Well, you would think,
yeah.
I mean, that would be the logical conclusion. What are they doing with all the money?
You know, with eggs going up, everything else going up, you know, it's just, geez, we got to get our dues up too. Yeah. You know, all the labor, all those things that they're doing for us realtors in the background at
the Commercial
Association of Realtors. You know, there's just all those new employees they've had to hire are just more expensive.
I mean, I don't know. It's like, you know,
I'm obviously poking.
You're poking. I would say that there are many benefits. I think one of the cool benefits of being a part of NAR and local associations, clearly MLS, and then standardized forms, right? I think that that's clearly a massive benefit for us. And I know every state is a little bit different. Here in Arizona, we can draft contracts, and we could use a different contract if we wanted to. We just can't charge for that service. So, you know, we can definitely take advantage of those forms and a lot of the infrastructure. But yeah, it does beg the question of
so they make $234 million every year off of dues.
Yep. Boom.
Mic drop. That's a almost $250 million.
Wow.
Well, that's why you have NAR. They have their accelerators and all those other things because they got the funds to invest in companies and startups and innovate new ideas in the real estate space. Mm-hmm. Speaking of innovation,
yes,
we know that there was an acquisition.
There was.
Who bought who?
Was it a merger or was it an acquisition?
Well,
what are the deets, Elliot?
We don't really know the deets.
Who gobbled up somebody? Well, we already know, and it's because I think that they shrank, even though they had a fair amount of access to capital. But recently, was it a merger or an acquisition? I don't know. Okay, do you know?
I think it was an acquisition, yes.
Okay. Easy Knock bought Ribbon. So those of you out there listening, if you're in the southeastern of the country, you certainly have heard of Ribbon because they definitely had a huge splash for a long, long time. And, of course, you saw them disappear what seemed virtually overnight. They lost access to their debt facility and pretty much went gone. So they had a lot of other, cool things going on. And Easy Knock, a national company, operates in all 50 states. They acquired Ribbon.
What does that mean? What is Ribbon? I think they kind of did the same thing, but maybe
similar.
Well, I think Ribbon focused more on buy side, right? More of that power buying product. Okay. And then, of course, Easy Knock is more of the seller side. It's more of the
lease back.
And I would call it the equity release sort of product.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Right, they'll definitely focus on being able to sell your house, lease it back, purchase it back, even if you want to after that, right? Or, ultimately being able to sell your house and lease it back so you don't have to rush and move. So even if you do plan to leave, you can lease it back. Or if you were in some type of area where you needed to equity release, you could release that equity, pay off that debt, and then reacquire your house if you wanted to get yourself back into a position to acquire your house.
Like who makes up these terms? Like who sits back and is like, this is really an equity release product, Keith?
I know. It's almost like a tongue twister. It's
I
like
love it. I love
release.
it.
I think it's Mike Del Prete. He's the term
Jared
guy.
seller gets it. It's their option value.
Yes.
Yes.
It's essentially a very simplified, not having to go to a bank bridge type solution because they don't have to lease it back, but hey, you're going to make a mortgage payment one way or another, so you're going to pay a premium and get access to your equity, or do you want to go deal with lenders?
I'm a huge fan of what Easy Knock is doing,
Yes.
and
we
transparently, we work with Easy Knock, and big fan of Jared and all that he's done there. So I'm excited to see him position himself to make these moves in the downtime and scoop up Ribbon, because obviously brilliant leaders. They had a great product as well. So cool things happening. I think we're going to see more mergers and acquisitions.
That's my thought.
More lawsuits. And then more money being pumped into the technologies and more acquisitions.
I agree.
Or / mergers.
I agree. I'm feeling that.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think we're going to definitely see those kinds of pieces continue to play in the real estate space, right? Like the innovation of the tech space, right? It's all been introduced the concept. Now it's going to start streamlining the process and making it more seamless and even faster in everything that we do, so it's less friction, right? That's what it's all supposed to be about, is removing the obstacles, removing the friction, so it's an easier, convenient, simple process. And I truly think that we're on the cusp of seeing that happen massive with AI.
How do you feel? Let's wrap it up with this. How do you feel? You said you see that really happening with AI. What do you think that's going to look like, Elliot?
Consulting. I think it's going to be a true consulting thing. I mean, think about it. AI is literally the perfect real estate agent. It knows every single rule. It can process math like we've never seen. It can research the rule book. It can give you legal advice. It can literally tell you what's the best practice to do in certain circumstances. Should you pay X based on Y? And or is now a good time to buy or not to buy? Is now a good time to sell? Now not a good time to sell?
So interesting.
That's a little biased.
Yeah, it is an interesting.
I don't think it's biased. It's based on data.
It's the perfect real estate agent.
It is the perfect real estate agent.
Well, here's the thing, though, and then depending on the market, maybe it's not the greatest time to buy, but it's the greatest time to buy for you. But
I'll
as
give
long
you
as
that.
they're educated on what's going on in the market.
I'll give you that. But when I say the perfect real estate agent, I mean, the knowledge is what I'm talking about, because you could literally upload the rule book and every single real estate law, and it's going to retain it and be able to repeat it on demand.
But we are all the
we all
best
have
real estate agent. We have ChatGPT right here.
The human element comes into play.
But then I believe that human element is so important when you're dealing with.
I think it is important too.
But the interesting thing is, though, is I've actually experienced the human element in ChatGPT, right? Like, side note, funny story. So I've talked about our daughter Abby before, and when we showed her ChatGPT and she loved it, and it turns out Snapchat gives everybody their own AI. And so they have their own AI friend. And Abby was telling me that most of the kids at school cheat with the Snapchat AI, and that when she uses ChatGPT, it's different, and so they're all gonna like get caught out because
all their answers are gonna be the same.
Using
and
the
so her
Snapchat AI.
version of cheating is gonna give it in a different flavor. Hey, answer this for me today in the tone of a 11th grader, right? Or something.
Seriously, no, she'll do like 5th grade just so it like dumbs it down a little.
Yeah,
It's hilarious, funny. Doesn't surprise me.
The world is changing so quickly, and technology is changing real estate, and that is what we love to talk about. Hey, if there's anything that you want us to digest, any suggestions, comments, we would love to hear from you. Make sure you ring that bell, subscribe, and follow for more.